Hey everybody. It's been a while. It's been like 4 months. I was about to say 3 months, but I think it's been 4. My calculations are correct. And that was just based on me going back into my YouTube channel and looking at what the last video I posted was, which I think was me surviving a tornado. And that wasn't a lie, but it was just a crazy story. But man, what has it? Well, I mean, I don't even know how to do this video because how do I explain what happened in the past 4 months that led to me taking so much time off unexpectedly, because I didn't really explain that. Well, long story short, I'm probably going to be crying. I got my box of tissues right here because I've had a not that I haven't been vulnerable in my previous videos, but this one's probably going to be extra difficult. And I'm going to put a trigger. First video back in 4 months, hot start, trigger warning. I have to put that on there. Because I'm going to talk about something very candidly that happened in November, and I don't want anybody to think that... I just don't want anybody to be blindsided by it and not have me do what I normally do and put a trigger warning on it. But let's jump right into it, because I'm 2 minutes into this video and I still haven't said anything. Really to the point of why I took 4 months off. So, for the first couple of weeks after that video, I kind of lost my inspiration for this channel. I didn't really have much to... It wasn't that I didn't have much to talk about, it's just that I lost my inspiration. I just didn't know what to talk about. It's, there was a lot going on in my mind. Obviously my back pain, my hip pain, everything was just ramping right back up to where it was pre-surgery in March, and I just was very much losing the focus of being present in the now and thinking too much about the future. Because I have to think about my future a little bit, but all we have is now. And that became very prevalent with the passing of one of my cousins a couple of weeks ago. She was not elderly, but she was older because my dad's the youngest of 9 and he's 72. And it was his half-sister's, who's 93, it was her daughter. Now my aunt has had to bury 2 children, so again, another hot start. But it was more so the fact that she passed from cancer. I mean, this is, I know I'm jumping straight from October to now, but just stick with me. Stick with me through this whole video. It'll make sense in the end, I hope. Because obviously I just kind of wing these. I don't have notes or anything, I just kind of wing it. But she passed. She was diagnosed with a really horrific disease and cancer December 28th. December 28th in hospice care. December 25th, because I remember it's Christmas Day, in hospice care, New Year's Eve. And then she passed away 2.5 weeks later. So, cancer sucks ass. I hate it. And as my one video that has gone past like 15,000 views now went, I know that did not turn out to be the case, but with with my dad's side of the family just having an enormous amount of cancer, I mean, my doctor was I think he was a little bit too quick to rush that prognosis or diagnosis or whatever, just a little bit too much to jump there, right from the jump, but given my family history, given my symptoms, everything involved, he had to put it on the table because it was a possibility. And it kind of scared the shit out of me because I have such a large family history of it. So I myself jumped to the conclusions, and it was a bad time. But that turned out to be like just a very severe UTI or something like that. But anyways, so October, lost my inspiration for the channel. Went through an ugly breakup with my boyfriend. Yeah, not dating Steven anymore. Breakup number 1 was bad. Then we kind of got back together in December. Breakup number 2 was bad, and that was more so a medication mix-up than anything, because as of October 20th, 21st, something like that, of last year, or just of this past October, I went to go see a psychiatrist for the first time in 5.5 years. Or 5 years. And messing around with brain chemistry is not something that I've really ever been for. I've always been kind of nervous about taking another pill. And just to give people some perspective on how many pills I take, here's my morning medication amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pills. That's for my morning. Which I actually didn't take this morning. Fuck. I'll have to take that after this video. Actually, maybe let's take it now. Why not? Let everybody take a inside look on how I take my pills. Because I don't do it in chunks. I just do it all at once. Yeah, there's an obvious joke there. I swallow well. Fuck it. Fuck off. God, that vitamin sucks. Okay. Now I took my medication for the morning. I can show you my nighttime medication. Which, if you thought 10 pills was absurd, wait for the night. Which is... Oh, I think I'm missing a pill in here. Am I missing a pill? Well, whatever. This is absurd enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in total, 22 pills a day. And get this, with my back pain being as bad as it is, not a single one of those is for pain. 22 pills a day, not a single one for pain. That's why I'm like, I don't want to mess with brain chemistry, because I didn't want to add more. Well, actually, that is including the pills that change our brain chemistry. So anyways, so right at the jump, my psychiatrist was like, you definitely have ADHD. And I'm like, I knew that, because I was diagnosed with that 12 years ago. I just never followed up on it to get the medication. And she's like, that was dumb. Oh, that did not feel good. So that was kind of dumb on your part. And I was like, well, you know, that is what it is. Kind of, that's why I'm here. So right off the jump, she was like, let's get you on some ADHD meds. I'm like, cool. Because finally I need to get my speech under control. I need to get my focus under control. Get my speech slowed down. Which I think for kind of the most part, it's working a little bit. But then she coupled that with an antidepressant, which I definitely needed, because some things were going on that, well, I mean, just standard depression. I mean, I've been dealing with depression for years, and she was like, have you ever been on an antidepressant? And I was like, nope. She's like, well, you probably should, because all these, she's like, for the whole therapy session, you're through the whole assessment, she was like, you were just cracking up the whole time, but she's like, I tell you were in pain, like, in pain in more ways than just physically. So, antidepressant, but then the first one she put me on made me feel worse, and then the second one she put me on, which went from November into December, which caused just a calamity of issues, made me feel so out of sorts. Like, I could tell it was the medication, because just for that month I felt weird. And then I got off that medication, I'm on a new one now, and I feel better. Not 100%, but I feel better. That medication made me feel blah blah blah. That medication had me going from like happy to sad, to happy to mad, to happy to angry, to kind of okay, to like, I'm gonna blow up every relationship, friendship that I have just because I can. Like, and I did, because I got back together with Steven. It was a tumultuous time, because it was not, I don't even remember how that happened, and I don't remember breaking up with him. Like, apparently I did it in like a 15-page essay of a text, and I do not remember sending it. If I did, I would own up to it. You know, I own up to everything on this channel, like 150 videos, I have never once lied, and it's just been a honesty channel. That didn't, you know, the words don't work all the time that are in my head, so, you know, just, I've always been honest on this channel. So if I remembered sending that text, I would know that I sent that text. But then just a whole bunch of shit happened after that, and I apologized, and he just was lashing out and trying to make me feel bad, and I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work, never mind. I mean, I still feel bad because of the medication issue that I was under, but by the same token, I can't blame the medication completely for my behavior. Like, that's the other thing, is the other side of it, is that yeah, there's a medication issue, but I can't blame everything for that. Holy fuck, is it hot in my room? It's only, oh god, it's so warm in my room, but I'm only wearing an undershirt in here and I look gross. Let's just keep the sweatshirt on, and let's roll up the sleeves. Anyways. Oh, man, do I still avoid topics of seriousness or what? Trigger warning, or let's just dive right into this and let's just get it over with. So October, relationship ends. December, it starts back up again. Whole bunch of medication changes, mood changes. I have 22 pills a day I take now. Still not any better physically. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming up, but I'll leave those for later videos. Let's talk about what happened in November, because that's very important to talk about. It's a topic that I've talked about numerous times. It'll never get easier to talk about. It'll never be less important to talk about. It'll never be not important to talk about. And that is the topic of suicide. And yeah, I'm getting a little fidgety. Obviously I'm still here. But there was one day, I want to say it was the first week in November. I honestly can't remember the day. But I remember I was leaving for work. It was a Monday morning. I was going to work. Was it Monday morning? No, it was a Sunday overnight going into a Monday morning. And I put my hand on, or for whatever night it was, I put my hand on the, doorknob, and I literally had the internal thought that if I got in my car, I might not make it to work alive. And it wasn't because of any outside forces, because I didn't want to get there alive. I didn't want to get there. And that was due to a multitude of 1,000,000 fucking reasons, and the main one being that the pain in my body had just gotten to be too much. I didn't like that I was going to be working in pain the rest of my life, but the overwhelming fact of what caused me to feel this way to end my life for the second time only since May 17th or May 19th, 2017. was that I am 30 years old now, and if I work till the retirement age of 65, from this point now, I would be working more, just from this point on, I'd be working more in pain than I've been alive. Like another 35 years in pain versus the 30 years I've already been alive. And granted, I've already been in pain for 7 years this month. Actually, today. Today marks 7 years since the injury started. It was Groundhog Day. I actually just realized that. So, 7 years to the day is when I injured my back. So, I've been in pain in some way, shape, or form since then. The pain never really went away. 2018, I had a weird string where the pain went away for a good chunk of time, but there was always some kind of inkling of pain in there. But I have to work longer in pain than I've been alive. And that thought hit my brain so hard, and hit my heart so hard, that I was just like, what is the point of life? Like, what is the point of this? Like, I'm just going to work every day to pay medical bills, to be in pain, to pay medical bills, go to sleep in pain, cry, scream, I'm punching walls nonstop every day. Like, what the fuck is the point? Like, I didn't see a point. And my dad drove me to the hospital on May 19th, 2017. And I told him that I needed to go to the hospital that night. And I didn't tell him until I was checking it at the reception desk why I was there. I just told him I needed to go. And that day, I remember him hugging me for like a minute straight, and he wouldn't let go. He said, why wouldn't he be able to tell me this? I'm like, because he wouldn't have been able to drive. That was the only reason. And then this time in November happened, and I was still at home, and I put my hand on the doorknob, and that thought hit my, I mean, the thought had already been culminating, but the thought really hit me. And I went and I laid in the room right next to our front door, and I just laid there and I cried. Just nonstop for 10 minutes. And my dad said, what's wrong? And I said, I don't want to live. This is stupid. Like, what's the point of all this shit? If I'm just going to be working in pain forever, if I'm going to be working in pain more times than I'm going to be working in not, like, I'm never going to be not in pain again. Like, according to my doctors, my pain's just going to keep getting worse. And I couldn't take it. And I got to see my dad cry a second time for me. And this time at 30 years old. That time I was at barely 25, having just stopped drinking. That was 2 months after I stopped drinking, and that was all of the bad feelings I was bearing with alcohol rising to the surface after 4 years of alcoholism, after burying the rape, after burying the abuse, after burying the STDs, after burying everything, just letting it all hit the surface just like a fucking volcano. It all culminated on May 19th, 2017. November was everything from then till now. It's 5 years. 5 years of being sober and dealing with this shit. 6 years of dealing with this shit sober. Because I have been doing sober since 3/21/17. I'll hit 6 years in a month and a half. And I have said countless times, what's the point of sobriety, when I know that's the one pain reliever that's worked. I knew that was going to happen. I'll pick those up later. A couple of those doors are a little loose, as you can tell. But let's put my hand on top of it. That is why. Alcohol and medication, no bueno, no good, no bueno's like all these Spanish word, I know. It's not good. That's not true. That's not playing Spanish word, I know, but just it's not good. And I remember saying like a month ago that I'm actually grateful that my body's such a fucking mess in ways that I need all this medication. Because it's helping me stay sober. Because I can't drink and take these medications. I would die. Sorry, I'm not feeling good now because I'm like sobbing and I'm trying to control it, and that's making me feel really sick. But whew. I just got really tired. Not now, then. November, the first week of November, whatever, that morning. I'm just closing my eyes for a second. I just got really tired. And I'm actually just like picturing that morning right now when I close my eyes. And it was just, I remember getting ready for work. I remember not smiling once that whole morning. It was a morning. Why was it going to work in the morning when I work overnights? I don't know. Whatever. I just remember putting my hand on the handle and saying, like, I can't do this. And I don't know. It was just 6.5 years of doing this sober and not being able to bury any of these thoughts without having to bury any, or without being able to bury this pain, without being able to bury anything. I would do this all on my own. And seeing 3 or 4 different psychologists in that time because I didn't find a right fit. Actually seeing a trauma therapist all of 2018 that completely ruined my life at that time because he was comparing my then boyfriend Nikki to my ex Brandon. Just that relationship as a whole, but just he was comparing Nikki and I's relationship to that relationship as a whole, just how tumultuous it was and everything. And I was like, dude, it's been 4 months. Like, I'm upset with myself, and you're making me think that I'm projecting this onto him, which I was. But you're making me think that I'm doing a disservice to him. Like, he didn't actually help me. All he did was make me so angry that I projected it on Nikki, and that wasn't fair to him. Well, not make me. Never mind. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. A lot of mistakes I can never fix, that I can never take back, that I can never rectify, that I can never make up for. And I have a lot of regrets. Like, a lot of them. And I know you're not supposed to live your life with regrets. With regrets. But I have a lot of them. And they're always up here. I always got them. This is like been my new thing lately. I keep doing this. Like, I'll be like, I was thinking the other day, this is like my new thing. I've been doing this every day. I don't know what's going on. But I have them like up here. Let's just do it that way. I just did it again. I don't know what I'm doing. That's kind of been the story of the last 4 months. But no, I have a lot of regrets, and I'm not supposed to live with any regrets, but I have a lot of them. And November was another one of them, because I should not have let myself get to that point. I should have sought help a lot sooner, because I had not seen a therapist in a year up to that point. Or a psychiatrist. I hadn't seen a psychiatrist in 5.5 years, and I didn't see a therapist, period, for a year. And I still haven't technically. I'm still in line to see a psychologist soon. And then I have something major coming up in March. Nope. Well, the assessment's in March for either April or May. I will talk about that in a future video. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm pretty done with this video. I'm cried out. I am emotioned out for the first video in 4 months. I did not expect to cry this hard or this much. But the topic like this, it's not easy to talk about. Never for me. Which is like strange that this is like one of the few topics that's like really hard for me to talk about, but it is. But I think it's at both times my dad was the front row seat to it, which is, my dad's my best friend, so I'm gonna start crying because I can't. I didn't want to put him through that. Yep, here I go again. Alright, I gotta get out of here before I start, like, losing it again. Let me try to wrap this video up cleanly. I've thought a ton about the future. I've thought a ton about what I've done wrong in the past. And I don't live enough in the now. I live a lot in the now. I just don't live enough in the now. in the present. Pardon me, I know that's disgusting. Pardon me. So yeah, I live in the present some, but I definitely live in the past and the future way too much. And I just don't live here and now. Life is too short to be thinking about what could have been, what you did wrong, what you could have done better, what you could have done right, what words you wish you could take back, what you wish, what you could, what you would, what you didn't do. Like, all these what ifs, what could, what did, what would, they're not worth thinking about. You can use your past to make a better future, but you can't live in your past. And I think that's what I've been doing for far too long, is I've been thinking about what could I have done to make this result be different. You know, why, you know, in this, just take the relationship I was just in for only a month and a half, but still, it was the happiest I've been in a relationship since 2018. Well, it was only only relationship I had since 2018. And it wasn't even a relationship, it was just a month and a half of dating. Because the week I asked him to be my boyfriend, we broke up. So, well, he broke up with me. So, that was a weird week. Hey, you want to be my boyfriend? Yeah, I'm dumping you. Wait, what? Like, I was just like, okay, that was a weird week. Yeah, there was nothing about that situation I could have done differently to make the outcome any better. I was in a tumultuous state, and I told him I'm having a mental health episode. I just had a really bad depressive episode, and I said I don't want to talk about it. I just need to deal with it. And I said I've dealt with these plenty on my own. I said, but I'm not used to dealing with it with somebody by my side, and I don't want to start this second. Like, I need to deal with this on my own. So I just need the weekend just to deal with this on my own. And he couldn't do that, so he broke up with me. It was a very strange way to break up, or reason to break up with me. Hey, I'm having a really bad depressive episode, so I need the weekend to myself. I don't accept that. I'm done with you. All right. That was just like, that's not how that works, but to some people it is. It was more so the fact that he didn't understand why I couldn't talk to him. But I explained that. Like, I've never had somebody by my side through a depressive episode like this. And said I'm not going to start this second because I can't. Like, I don't know how yet. I said this is going to be a bigger talk at some point, but this second I just need to be on my own. And he couldn't accept that. So, it is what it is. But my God, sorry that is so disgusting. I'm going to go blow my nose a lot. But yeah. Live in the now. Live in the present. Your present, don't let anybody else also, don't let anybody else dictate how you live your life. Don't let anybody else dictate how you experience your happiness. You know, if you want to date this person, you know, and they make you happy, date that person and let be happy and let them make you even happier. Because you should be happy with yourself, and that person should only make you happier. You know, it shouldn't be that you're really down and that person gets you to, you know, you shouldn't be at a -50 and that person brings you up to 0. You should be at 50 and that person brings you up to 100. Or, you know, not even on a scale of up to 100. Just on like, or like, you know, if you're here, like just from here, if you're here, that person should bring you to here. But if you're down here, when you're supposed to be up here, if that person just brings you to here, or to here, or maybe to here, like, I'm not saying don't be in a relationship, I'm just saying make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, but also don't let whoever you're with dictate how you live your life. Don't let other people dictate how you live your life. Don't let other people say you can't date this person because so. As long as there's no abusive qualities there. Like, if the person's not, you know, if your friends are not saying like, well, he's abusive or whatever, Like, if they're not trying to get you out of an abusive situation, if they just clearly don't like them, like, that's a different story. Like, you know, and abusive relationships are a completely different topic for a different day, but I have talked for 30 minutes, and I think that is good enough for my first video back in 4 months, because now I've just gone on like 10 different tangents in the past 10 minutes, and none of them have to do with what I talked about for the last 20, or the previous 20, so let's just stop there. Whew, alright, I am winded. I'm back. I will try to... I'm back. Sorry. Now that I've been doing that every week, it's gonna throw me off. But I will try to get back onto a weekly schedule. I know this is a Thursday. I have no idea what days. Right now I've been on a Friday through Sunday and Tuesday overnight kick, so maybe I'll only really have Monday and... Technically I'm working every day except for Thursday, because technically I work a part of every day except for Thursday. So maybe I'll make Thursday my day now, just because that's the only day that I don't have any work. And it won't throw off my sleep schedule too much. So let's just focus on that for now. So look for Thursday. Just keep, throw the notification on or subscribe, or just keep looking at YouTube every Thursday for my videos, whatever. This video will probably be going up at 1 p.m. or so, because I still have to edit it. Oh my god, I'm so tired. And get it up. But I'm going to do that. Everybody take care of yourselves, take care of each other when you can. Focus on your mental health. Mental health is important, obviously, the whole point of this channel. And I will link in the description always my socials, I'll put my Snapchat back in there. I think I was only including my Instagram. I'll include my Snapchat. Because I have Snapchat again. I don't think I mentioned that. My Snapchat previously was banned because my account got hacked and it got terminated. Don't know why that was the solution instead of somebody just giving me a new account. Because then I couldn't open a new account until I got a new phone. It was stupid. Anyways, got a new Snapchat, got my Instagram. Actually, I'm currently messaging somebody messaged me from a different continent. I'll just go that far. Oh, that was my other thing. I wanted to say this right now because that was important. Because I had mentioned to him. He had said that he didn't want any shout out, and I was like, I'm not going to give you a shout out. But I wanted to give a shout out to anybody who has reached out to me in the past from other. I have been reached out to more from people from other continents than I have been reached to from people in the U.S. And that it blows my freaking mind. Because, and this was like this was like when I still had like only 30 subscribers, so this was just pre anything big going on. I was getting messages from people, I mean not like 50 messages a day, but like maybe 1 or 2 a month or every couple months, but from somebody on a different continent, like in Asia or in Europe, and I got 2 messages from Australia in the same month, and they were completely different on opposite ends of the continent. So it's just been crazy to see how far my messages go, and see see which people are seeing these videos. But also, I wanted to say to anybody who's suffering from an illness, a disease, because of my cousin who just passed away from cancer, anybody who's suffering from an illness, a disease, an infection, any sort of illness or any kind of physical harm or anything physically, because I know emotionally that's extremely important because it's a mental health channel. I almost said challenge again. God damn it. But this is extremely important. I want to get this point across very clearly. Anybody who's suffering from a physical issue right now, or has in the past, you are strong, you are brave, you will get through this, and that is with the love and support of your friends and family. So don't try to go at it alone. You are not alone in this. Believe it or not, I'm always here. The person that messaged me on Instagram 3 weeks ago doesn't know me, only knows me through this channel. And messaged me out of the blue and was like, hey, can I talk about some stuff? And did, and we've gotten better. Or we've gotten to know each other a little bit. So just reach out to a random stranger, reach out to a therapist, reach out to a distant cousin, reach out to your grandma, reach out to your grandpa, reach out to your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, Your friend that you haven't talked to in 10 years. Reach out to somebody, anybody, and let them know what you're going through. Because, trust me, I was about to say something else, and that's why I was making the mouthing for a different word other than trust me. I was like, trust me. So hang on. So trust me. It is so much better to have somebody in your corner know what the hell you're going through. Even if not to give advice, just to know what you're going through. So on those days when you blow up your Facebook feed with, oh man, this fucking sucks, or God, I wish I could just get rid of all this pain, they know, at least one person knows what you're talking about. At least that one person can message you and say, hey bud, what's going on? How's your back doing? Or how's your leg doing? Or how's your heart doing? How's your lungs doing? How'd that surgery go? How's your mom's hip doing? Something, anything. It's nice to have that, even just one person know what the hell's going on, rather than nobody, rather than getting 50 messages going, what the fuck's going on, what the fuck was that message about, because then you have to explain to 50 people what the hell you're talking about. But if you say, guys, don't worry about it, I have one person that I really trust and I really want to talk to about this, I just had to blow off some steam, I apologize if I startled or scared any of you, but that's not what my intention was, I just need to blow off some steam. Done. But then talk to that person about what's going on. Vent to somebody. Talk to somebody. It helps so much more than you think if you just try. Or it might. It's not going, I can't guarantee you it's going to, but I can advise you try. Because you never know unless you try. Because I have two people in my life. Well, one is obvious, Matt. Hey, hi, hello. That I talked to. Matt is 10 minutes away. I could drive to his house in 10 minutes. That's what I meant by 10 minutes if you didn't understand. Good Lord, I'm dumb. Dumb moment. I'm not dumb, I just said a dumb moment. And then I have one friend that I talked to that's overseas. It would take me 10 hours to fly to his country. So, a friend that I can drive to in 10 minutes with my own car. And then a flight that would take me 10 hours to get to my friend's country that I talked to that's overseas. So, vastly different friendships, because one of them I can see every day if I wanted to, and the other one, nope, there's not a chance in hell. Actually, still haven't met him, and I've been talking to him for probably, I still haven't met him. He lives freaking 8,000 miles away. But I've been talking to him for 7 years, something like that, 7, 8 years. I don't know. It's been a very long time. But yeah, I tell them I tell them both everything. So like they know the ins and outs of me in more ways than one. But it's, for medical reasons. Shut up. Well, Matt, yeah, sorry that you know so much about me, but you've asked, so you've known. But yeah, it really pays off to have somebody know what you're going through. So it can be a great resource to you. And then yeah, I'm not sure where my thought process is going here. So I'm gonna just say talk to someone about your. I would say mentally and emotionally as well. You want to have somebody in your corner, but physically for the sake of relatability in this sense, with my back pain, with my leg pain, everything, and with my history of issues with everything. Anyways, yeah, my brain's starting to deflate now, so I'm done. I'm done with this video. I will regroup and then think about it for next week. Got 166 hours or something like that to think about it. Yeah, I will see everybody next week. I will link also I usually link the National Suicide Hotline in the description. I have like the same description it's like my sign off is just like this. Like keep going, you gotta outlive your enemies, because if you don't, they win, kind of thing. It's just a little inspirational quote that I really like. I will link through the new, because man, I don't think I've even been on here since the National Suicide Hotline changed. It changed to, for those of you who don't know, it changed from like a phone number to just a 3-digit, something you can text or call, which is 988. It's like 911, but it's for obviously the National Suicide Hotline, so it's 988. I just looked it up to make sure I wasn't wrong. during the little break, and I know that I let the battery run out, so I lost a little bit of footage that I'm having to remake. Yeah, so that number will be there, and my socials as well, and yeah. So yeah, anybody can message me. Like I said, I've talked to a few people from different continents, and then some people from the U.S. And I'm always here as a resource. Like none of these people have been like, hey, I just want to be buddies with you. Like they've always I think every single one has had a topic they've wanted to talk about. Like they want somebody to talk to, and I'm a neutral third party. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they am. They am. Okay, I need to get away from this video. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. So it's just, it's a very neutral third party. I mean, they kind of know who I am through my videos, but like they don't know who I am personally. So I'm easy to talk to. It's like they're just talking to like a therapist. They don't like. It's as if they're talking to a therapist, in the sense of, not that I'm a therapist. Relax. But in the sense of I'm a neutral third party. Like I don't know them, they don't know me, so I can't be like, well, but like yesterday you went to school, and like I can't be like that because I don't know who they are. So I'm just a resource for them. I just talk to them about what I went through so that they know what to go through, or what they're getting themselves into in certain aspects. It's just kind of that give and take kind of thing. And some of them I haven't heard from since those conversations years ago. Some of them still talk to me today. It's not, there's no definitive, there's no way to talk to me. Like, I put my socials out there so you can talk to me about anything. You can talk to me like, hey buddy, what's up? Like, you can talk to me like a friend. I don't mind. I'm just saying I'm there as a resource if you have something that you're going through, if you want to talk about something else, if you have questions for me just about what I went through, just period. Like, not having gone through anything yourself, just saying like, man, this video that you talked about, like, can you go more in depth about that? Something that you weren't like necessarily wanting to talk about on video. Maybe I will. You never know. Because some of these things, like some things, I'm pretty open about on YouTube, but some things have to stay behind. Have to be in a message. I can't say it on YouTube, or I don't want to. But most things I have. So I've been pretty open. Yeah, I will see you ready next week. Just know that that's there always as a resource. I am always here as a resource. And, yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry that was like a weird-ass video with over 1,000 subjects and crying and then laughing. And it wouldn't be an Alex video if I wasn't all over the place. So, I'm back. I'll see you next week. I'm back.